Most businesses don't realize they have a marketing problem until the consequences are already showing up. Like, for example, the leads are slowing down, or sales feels harder, or referrals dry up, the pipeline feels unpredictable. And at that point, marketing becomes reactive. People scramble for tactics. What are we gonna do? New ads, new websites, new tools, new agencies, but the real issue is rarely the tactics. Marketing problems almost always start much earlier. They start quietly and then they compound over time. And if you wait too long to address them, these fixes, they become way more expensive and more stressful and less effective. So let me walk you through the most common marketing problems I see businesses ignore until they can't anymore, and how to fix them before the pressure is on. You don't have clarity, you have activity. Many businesses are busy marketing. They post content, they run campaigns, they update their website. But if you ask simple questions, you get fuzzy answers. You get fuzzy answers to who exactly are we trying to reach? Or what problem do we solve better than anybody else? Or why would someone choose us? They lack clarity. And so without clarity, marketing becomes noise. It feels productive, but it doesn't really compound like it should over time. So here's what happens. Your messaging sounds generic. Your team struggles to explain what you do consistently. Your sales process takes longer than it should. And you end up relying heavily on referrals because cold or warm audiences, they're just not converting. And over time, marketing feels like a lot of work with little return. And leadership starts to question whether it even works. So what's the fix? Clarity comes before creativity. Answer some foundational questions in plain language first. Who's your primary audience? What specific problem keeps them up at night? What transformation do you help them achieve? What makes your approach meaningfully different? This isn't about clever words, it's about alignment. And once clarity exists, every piece of marketing becomes easier and more effective. Problem number 2, you're chasing tactics instead of building a system. A new platform launches, an algorithm changes, a new tool promises faster results. And I know it's tempting to jump from tactic to tactic, hoping one of them's finally gonna take hold and work. And the problem isn't the experimentation, the problem is the absence of a system. When marketing lacks a system, results are gonna be inconsistent and they're gonna be unpredictable. You can't tell what's working and what isn't. And marketing feels dependent on constant effort instead of any kind of momentum. And budget decisions become guesses, teams lose confidence in a long-term strategy, and eventually marketing becomes exhausting instead of energizing. So what's the fix for this? Think in terms of systems, not campaigns. A healthy marketing system answers these questions. How do people discover us? How do they build trust with us? How do they move from interest to action? And how do we stay visible over time? And this might include content, email, video, speaking, partnerships, social media, but each piece plays a defined role. The goal is consistency and compounding, not constant reinvention. A healthy marketing system answers these questions. How do people discover us? How do they build trust with us? How do they move from interest to action? And how do we stay visible over time? This might include content, email, video, speaking, partnerships, social media, but each of these pieces plays a very defined role. And the goal here is consistency and compounding, not constant reinvention. Problem number 3, your website is informational, not strategic. Many websites look fine, but they don't work very hard. They list services, they talk about the company, they explain history. And what they don't do is guide the visitor. So what happens is visitors leave without taking any action. And those sales conversations you're having, they're starting from 0 instead of halfway. Marketing traffic doesn't convert and your website just becomes a digital brochure instead of a growth tool. So what's the fix? A strategic website does 3 things well. 1, it clearly communicates who you help and how. It positions your customer as the hero, not your company, and it gives visitors a clear next step. And this doesn't require more content. What it does, it requires better structure, clearer messaging, and intentional calls to action. Problem 4, you're measuring the wrong things or you're not measuring anything at all. If marketing success is defined as activity, that's hard to improve. So posting regularly, that isn't a result. Launching campaigns, that isn't really a result. Redesigning a website, that's an activity, that's not a result. So without any meaningful measurement, decisions are going to just be driven by opinions, not real insights. and you're going to repeat mistakes without even realizing it. Marketing conversations become these emotional conversations instead of strategic ones, and leadership loses confidence in the marketing investment. So what's the fix? You don't need dozens of metrics. You need the right ones. Focus on lead quality, not just on volume. Focus on conversion rates at key points. Focus on consistency of pipeline over time. Focus on your costs relative to outcomes, not just the spend. Measurement should really bring clarity, not complexity. Problem 5, you wait too long to fix what you already know is broken. This is the most dangerous problem. And deep down, most business leaders already know where their marketing is weak. They know their website feels outdated. They know their messaging feels unclear. They know their strategy feels scattered and is broken and doesn't work. But it just keeps getting postponed because it's working okay, it's working good enough. But when you wait too long, these fixes become urgent instead of strategic. Decisions get rushed. Costs increase, opportunities are missed, and stress it rises across the organization. The reality of it is that marketing problems rarely announce themselves loudly at first. They kind of whisper, then compound. It's slowly and then suddenly. So what's the fix? The best time to fix your marketing problems is before you're forced to. So step back periodically and ask, is our marketing still aligned with who we are and where we're going? Are we building momentum, or are we just maintaining activity? Are we still being clear, or are we just familiar? These small proactive adjustments, doing those now will prevent major overhauls later. So look, marketing problems are rarely just marketing problems. They affect sales confidence, they affect team morale, they affect growth decisions, they affect leadership clarity. And what I've seen, the businesses that win long-term aren't the ones that chase every new tactic. They're the ones that commit to clarity, that build systems and address issues early before the pressure is on. So fixing your marketing before it's too late isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things clearly, consistently, and intentionally. I'm Michael with MC2, and we help leaders solve real marketing problems with strategy and clarity. If this resonates, let's talk.
Book your discovery call at mc2design.com.